Damn.
That's funny.
He said, damn.
I've had a few strains like that.
I don't know about this. There's not much nose at all, and it's multiple colors. It almost looks like two different flowers in here. Look at that. That's a different strain than that.
Welcome back to another episode, Couch Lock Nation. I don't know what episode number this is, but all I know... It is it could be 420. It is a huge one. We are here with David from Preferred Gardens. I'm sure everyone already knows who he is. How are you doing today, David? Thank you so much for taking the time to come
amazing
and be in our apartment, dude. Like, you run 3 different states. You have facilities going 24/7. You have to deal with banks being taken down. You have to deal with all the California bullshit. You have to deal with all the Florida bullshit. From the bottom of my heart, man, thank you for taking the time to sit down with us and have a conversation.
No, I appreciate you guys having me. This is a nice, comfortable spot you got here too.
Dude,
but what you said, all that negative stuff, like, it's not negative. I'm just super blessed to be able to do this. So, like, yeah, take my bank away, I'll get a new one. You know, just keep moving.
So I guess today I really wanted to start out and just dive right into the Preferred Garden story, where you got your start. And I think a good place might be your first time smoking. Shout out to your cousin, Chris.
Yeah. So my name's David Polley. I started in the medical era in California, which was around 2005. That's when I started cultivating, kind of up the hills in Yuba County. If you if you know where that is, it's
not
kind of
too
like
much.
It's almost like a Humboldt County.
Okay.
It was a place that was unincorporated, and they kind of allowed for medical patients to create collectives to where they could grow for, you know, X amount of patients, however many patients you had on a list, you could grow 6 plants for, or whatever their script said. So they had like a medical script like Florida. Mine, for instance, said that I could actually have 14 pounds on me at all times. So
really?
This is in, like, you know, this 2000. I think I got it in 2004 or somewhere around then.
Okay, the early days. Then.
It was sketchy at that point. If you didn't have that piece of paper, you know, and you got
screwed.
caught with 14 pounds, you'd probably go to prison for it.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started in the medical days there, cultivating. Before that, I've been into weed since I was like really, really small, because I grew up with my cousin, and he was quite a bit older than me, and he, you know, was into everything possible, whatever trouble he can get into. So he always had weed and cigarettes and alcohol and whatever else. So he pushed it on me when I was a kid. So that's where I got started. But after that, I just got really passionate about the plant.
Honestly, like, my first experience with weed was like a really good one. I'd smoked after a shitty dishwasher shift at like 16 out of an Arizona tea can, went home and had the giggles and munchies all night. Do you think that, like, your first experience with weed, you know, being more so like forced, as you might say, do you think that kind of shaped, like, from the get-go, your perspective on cannabis? Or do you think that you would have gotten there?
I was like, it was kind of a bad experience, but you know, when you get really drunk and you get sick, and for some reason we go back and drink the next weekend again, it's kind of the same situation. And we hotboxed a tent. Like, I was spinning, I was sick from the weed at that point, but and we were probably smoking like some regs, like some, you know, it was like some nasty Bammer weed that had seeds in it and such, and we smoked that out of a can. So it was strong. Like, if you smoke that stuff now, you still get crazy, different high. It's not like what we enjoy getting high, you know?
No, 100%. How far it's honestly came, and, like, honestly, just like the perspective or like cultural difference. I feel like even from me to you, like, I've probably never even smoked that level of weed, like, growing up.
Yeah,
like,
dude, we were always spoiled, man.
Yeah, you know, like
I was getting like the California shit. Like, I was like 14, 15, and my friends were like, yeah, the quotes.
It's the age difference.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
30 now. I'm about to be 40. So, like, when I did smoke, that was 5th grade. So that was way before there was any good weed available, and especially to us. Like, we were broke ass kids. We didn't have. I don't even know how he got the weed. You know? He probably stole it or something.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Does any part of you regret smoking that early?
No, hell no.
Do you think it really shaped you into, like, the person you are today?
Not the first time smoking, but just me having access to, me getting intrigued with like the plant and the flower and the smells and all that stuff early gives me a major advantage now. Like I've been through every single strain, and I just feel like I kind of adapted.
You probably don't even really remember what it's like without, like.
I mean, I have the memories of all those strains. I feel like the weed's not the same anymore at all, and none of that stuff was around.
Yeah,
I remember that.
You scout for like
older genetics.
Yeah, I try hard. People ask for that stuff. The thing is they ask for it, but then the market doesn't want it. So I try to find it for my own smoke. Like
okay,
your personal
circle of people that want to smoke. But as far as the market, it's not feasible for me to grow 100 pounds of
White Widow.
Fucking White Widow, exactly. No one's gonna buy it.
No, people might say that. I feel like you hear that all the time. You're like, "Oh, I miss OG Kush. I miss White Widow. I miss blah 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 blah." And then you put that on the shelves, and like no one's buying it. They're like,
my boys just grew Blue Dream again. You know what I
dude,
mean?
that's
and everyone was
crazy.
like, "Fuck, that shit's gonna sell like crazy," because everyone's been asking. Everyone wants it's a known name, so everyone's gonna be hyped about it. But it didn't work for them, and it was fire batch, like the best Blue Dream you could grow, but still it just didn't sell. It's not going to sell for what they want it to sell for, It's not high end.
So then going back, you started having that license. You could have 14 pounds on you in Cali. How does that further develop into Preferred Gardens as a brand and a company?
So me just becoming a cultivator, you met my boy Tony in here. He's got this weird mustache right now. He's just being goofy, but
he's got the trailer park boy stash.
Zach does the mustache too.
We started growing at his mom's house in those hills.
Really?
And when we started cultivating, that's when I became like a complete psycho about like the plant is so fascinating. Even to this day, watching it grow, they're all so different. It's just something I'm majorly passionate about. Seeing the different flowers, different, they act different every time. It's like every single plant is so different from each other. They're like almost like children to me. You know what I mean? Honestly, like every one. And that's why everyone, like, you get a crazy good batch and everyone wants that same batch. It's not going to be that batch again because it's a different plant grown possibly a little bit of a different environment. Irrigation might have been different. So there's differences every single, even though it's a clone of that plant, doesn't mean it was raised exactly the same. It's almost impossible to do
you
that.
can't. There's so many
it's batch to batch every time.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
there's so many different like variables and such that one little piece of dust could go off, and it's the butterfly effect that you're going to have a different batch from one to the next.
And if you got an amazing cultivator, all the weed is really good, but one might be more desirable for you. You might pick up a batch of grape cake or something, for instance, and be like, man, this is the best strain in the world. And then the next time you're like, this isn't exactly what I got. Even though it's great, gets me the same kind of high, but it's not exactly what I was looking for.
I don't know if you're like somehow reading my text messages or something, dude, but like, I literally just Jungle Boys grand opening here in Florida, grape cake had 19. One of the craziest highs I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
Just smoked it again the other day.
Not the same.
I was actually kind of like very underwhelmed with the effects.
Yeah, and you can't blame them at all because they follow an SOP. So they're trying to mimic, especially them because they're really good at production, So like they're trying to mimic a recipe, and that recipe is the same, like cooking, it's the same thing.
I grew up in kitchens.
You go to a restaurant, you get a steak from the same chef, the same cut of meat, and it tastes different every time. It's exactly like the plant.
Yeah,
and that's why that happens. And, people want that crazy consistency, but it's not really possible with high-end weed.
So then almost every batch, like while it might have those same general characteristics when you're doing really high-end weed, because you're constantly trying to improve on every batch, and you're learning through every batch, it's almost becomes like a unicorn situation, like every time.
Get those unicorn batches every once in a while. Yeah, it just depends. So there's a lot of variables. There's how long has the facility been running? Has it been the same grower and cultivation team the whole time throughout that facility? Is all the HVAC performing at the same rate? Are you doing constant maintenance on everything? So you don't have like things that just hit you from the side out of nowhere. If you can try to control that same scenario always through the stage, that's why it's hard. I mean, people move on from the job. You know, you might have a guy that's like your perfect clone guy that makes, phenomenal clones, and their clones are all rooting in like 7 days and they're crazy, vigorous and healthy. And then next, that guy's gone. There's a new guy that you trained who's not as good. And it takes 10 days for them to root, and they're not as healthy. So you're starting with a not as healthy plant when you go into the flower stage.
Honestly, Chase, this kind of just reminds me back to what even extreme farming. Again, I'm not sure how familiar you are with the Florida scene. He's a cultivator that's more on the traditional market side that we're friends with.
No, I know him. Hell
yeah.
Perfect.
They're back and forth from Cali too. Yeah.
And he was just saying that, something might come down to it. Like an employee might be coming in and just have a bad day, might package an eighth wrong. It gets air exposure. There you go. Like there's a number, like, and especially, I guess, like, one question that I have is like, how has it been like going from, like you said, like, I guess this is kind of a wild comparison, but like 14 pounds to growing at mass production for Florida? Like, has it been really difficult to scale?
No, because we're following that recipe, and the team here in Florida is like amazing. These guys are next level, and they've been doing scale. I mean, you guys know Brian. Burn.
Yes.
That dude is like, I'm so lucky to have him there. That dude's amazing. And then Trent, who does all the dry cure stuff. I mean, these guys are next level. Did you guys visit the facility?
We have not visited the facility.
You need to visit the facility.
No, we should do that.
Change your mind, because when you see it in pound form and you smell it and you understand how great everything is coming out, then you'll have a new respect for the whole situation there.
So how has it been growing in Florida compared to other states?
It's great because I actually, so we can double back how I got with the Flowery is they kind of called me to consult,
So I guess that is kind of like what I was like picturing. Like, is it kind of like there's like a draft and there's like X, Y, and Z growers out here, and the flower is like, all right, we're gonna like go like look at you, and you, or is it more like you're going to them?
Yeah, like you were on Cali.
So they got their
call.
license, right? And they had a small little facility to start with. That's what they were doing delivery out of. It was like, it wasn't built for Florida. It was a really small, like, it was built out of a bunch of containers. It was kind of like their first phase, right? And then they got with a buddy of mine from California, Tony. Shout out Tony. He recommended me because they were going to build this nice facility on their land. And who was the GC basically there was Donovan, and he's a partner owner, super fucking amazing guy. But he was going to build it Florida style. And when they talked to me, I'm like, no, let's do Cali style.
So what would be the difference in those two styles?
Just the experience factor, honestly. Okay. So they were just going to build a big facility that, had all the dehumidification and cooling and everything for Florida. But, not to be disrespectful at all, but Florida's hasn't gone down all the losses that we have. We've built like shit tons of grows. I've been doing this for, since 2005. So like I've lost my ass a million times and found out what not to do. So they were going to do a couple things that they shouldn't have done. And I just steered them to do, I was like, let's just design it like my facility, because I just was building my Sacramento facility at the same time. And I already have I have a blueprint on how I want to build things, because like I'm used to running a room. And if I have to pivot and go to another state and run that same exact room, if I can keep the same exact set points, then I can grow the same exact weed pretty much, other than the little nuances of being batch to batch.
It becomes clockwork that way, and it becomes more just kind of like watching the plants and like keeping up with them that way.
Yeah, it is. So I have like a model, right? I like a certain size room, certain benches, certain irrigation systems, certain cooling HVAC systems, and dehumidification to control my rooms. So, and I like to use DPS panels. Okay. That's like, my boys own that company. Shout out DPS. Those guys are really killing it. But if you see all the grows where all the white panels are on the walls, that's DPS. So it's like really insulated panels, that are made for cultivation. But it's like made to build like a freezer room or something that has like really tight control, climate control. And that's what you need to grow good weed, is really good climate control.
So then,
especially in Florida too.
Yeah, no, it's tough. And then I took all that in consideration. It wasn't exactly like my Sacramento facility because I'm in Sacramento. I'm looking at the outside variables. I'm looking at the temperatures, all the humidities outside. So we kind of built a facility in a facility. So then, because when you enter the facilities in Florida, the problem is you bring in all the outside variables. So there could be a 90% humidity out there and it's 110 out. Well, when you walk in, you have to go through multiple spaces before you get to the cultivation side. So there's a lot of barriers in between that, plus the DPS panels who have all the insulation. So your rooms are blocked out from the Florida conditions. You can do this anywhere in the world.
No, that's honestly something that's like mind-blowing, because the grows that I have been to and the few that I like I said I've been to, they've been anywhere from like hoop houses to shipping containers.
So that was the first conversation, because if you know me, you know that I specialize in mixed light cultivation in greenhouses. So they're like, should we do a greenhouse here in Florida? I come to Florida and I'm like, this would be horrible to do a greenhouse. It's in Homestead. So when I got there, it was like 112 and it was like 90% humidity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's down south.
Like, with the greenhouse, it works cool in California because the weather's pretty nice. You know what I mean? And it's all about the outside variable. You're bringing air in from the outside into your space where the cannabis plants are. And if you do that in Florida, you're dragging in humidity all the time. You just have to run dehumidifiers, which causes a lot of energy use. And the point of the greenhouse is to use less energy. So we were going to use a ton of energy on the greenhouse. Next was the variables were really hard to control. Next was the power was super cheap in Homestead already. So the reason why you do greenhouses is for the efficiency, especially the power consumption.
But it just didn't make sense.
It didn't make sense. I was like, we can just do indoor, have a much more controlled environment, and just build it this way. It costs a little bit more up front to build, but worth it in the long run. I mean, you can see there's great weed coming out of that.
I mean, we've seen it ourselves 100%.
Is it true that indoor is like less fun to like grow? I've heard that before.
I say that for me because the greenhouse is like really fucking hard.
It's like a challenge.
It's like a challenge. Okay. It's a challenge to grow high-end weed in a greenhouse.
Is it like high risk, high reward kind of thing?
The biggest thing, yeah. And there's a lot of energy there. You get some sun on your plants, and you can just tell the difference. I don't know. It's hard to tell. When you walk into a greenhouse, you're on a farm normally. It's a totally different vibe than when you walk into like a industrial,
I understand.
Warehouse.
I saw you describe it on the First Smoke of the Day podcast. Granted, we did our research a little bit, and it was just
and we were there. We did the tour in both of them in the same day.
Difference between, like you said, going in, maybe taking off your shoes, like going in, being at the farm, or maybe going in and like I think you said, like pick up a leaf here or there at like the indoor grow.
Yeah. Feeling the heat.
It's big automation, which is cool for like for the consistency though.
Yeah.
So it's really batch to batch with the greenhouse, big time. So you can't really, if you're QCing, and that's our main thing is quality control. You can't package as much weed as you could with the indoor, because the indoor is really automated. It's really close climate control, and that's the tight climate control is how you grow the best weed.
Kind of talking about like how you structured like the help the Flowery and stuff. So they come to you, they start talking about consulting. So from like a business end like standpoint, because that's something
they wanted what their play was for one, the people are like, I love this is like the best partnership ever. Honestly, they're just great. They'll do anything for me, for the brand. They're real people. They're not like a bunch of corporate robots. No,
we've had the pleasure of we've gone out to dinner with some of the owners a few times. Shout out to Steph and all of them as well.
Yeah, for sure.
But I guess like how so from a brand perspective, you go from consulting. How does Preferred Gardens end up on the shelf like legally at the end of the day here?
So what happened was I was going to be the head of cultivation over there.
Okay.
Right. And I was building my brand in California pretty heavy at the same time. So I'm building my Sacramento facility, my indoor facility, while I'm helping them build, this facility over here. And I'm thinking I'm going to go for 3 days in Florida, you know, back and forth.
Flying the whole time?
Until things are dialed in, create a team, train, you know, try to get everyone really just spot on for exactly what I do. And then, you know, I talked to Elad, which is, you know, the main owner. And he was like, we just threw out a bunch of different scenarios. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to work it remote, blah, 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 which they were totally open to. That's kind of what they wanted to. We worked out kind of a deal there. And then I came to him and I just decided, I was like, hey, I'm working on my brand over here. So I don't really have the time to actually do this. This is your dream. You know what I mean? So, and I'm working on my dream. So it's not fair to me for either of us, for me to say that I can do this thing for you, you know, up to its best potential, and me work on my brand in California and my cultivation facilities to my best potential. Cause I don't have deep pockets. I'm not like an investor or anything. I've been building this from ground up. So I said, hey, look, I'll do all this stuff. All I'm asking you is just give me a licensing deal. So we can work my brand into this situation. And I'm here for you guys 24/7. Let's hire a cultivator, or let's hire a team that deals with this. And they were all about it. And we were going to look at a bunch of they were going to have me interview a bunch of people, and they were going to interview a bunch of people. And the COO, Mike, was already connected with Brian and Trent. And me and him went on a drive, and he's talking about these guys. I'm like, fuck, these guys sound like they're have mad experience. These are like this is the perfect situation.
They're the ones.
These are the ones. And they hire him, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to train this guy, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I get on the phone with him, and we start talking, and I'm like, this guy's a fucking genius. Like, this is, I don't have to do anything. They're already set up for this. So then we went through, started growing some of my strains, and they were coming out exactly how I wanted them. They were super loud, you know, sticky, all smoked really great. It was like exactly what I wanted. They kind of follow how I want to grow for my stuff. But, you know, it was like a dream come true in that situation. So I just focused on my brand, helped them where I needed to, and then started working on the branding portion of it.
Respect for knowing your quality too. Like being like, listen, like I have a certain standard here, and I can't provide that standard with like my current situation. Not a lot of people would do that, especially because I'm assuming there's probably a bag associated with that as well. So it's like
the bag doesn't matter. It's this brand that I'm trying to build is like my life. It's my family.
It's a long-term game now.
You see the crew, that's the brand.
Yeah.
You know, minus Alex. Alex, the only one who couldn't make it out here. That's it. It's like my wife and my brand. It's not a big corporate weirdo situation.
No,
but
yeah, same deal.
If
here.
I start putting stuff out there just to make money, then I'll destroy my brand.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to destroy product that I don't see, you know, meeting the QC standard.
So, and that's kind of what you did, like with the RS11 drop here in Florida, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Any threats whatsoever to the situation, and obviously we don't want to drop anything that has, you know, any issues. So we just pulled the whole thing, and that's a massive financial loss for the Flowery.
Yes.
Massive. So that tells you right there how great a partners they were. I was like, cut it. Pull it all, recall it all. We didn't have to.
You don't know how
State didn't say anything about that. We opened and did our own research to be sure that it wasn't bad. I smoked a lot of that weed, to be honest. I smoked a lot of that.
So then,
but we weren't
We got
finding
to try
any
that.
issues, but we pulled it no matter what because someone did. You know
and
what
so
I mean?
many people in Florida wouldn't do what you have done. They would have tried to remediate it. They would have tried to keep pushing it. They would have waited until that just individual returns happened.
Yeah, that's totally unacceptable.
Not what exactly. But I guess one thing I wanted to ask was like, so for someone who is so big in QC and quality control, so like what did happen where like what was it, mold or bud rot?
Bud rot, yeah.
That makes it to the final package, and like what was the learning from that? Because I know you talked about earlier with the Flowery, like trial and error, everything you've done in Cali, take that knowledge here, show them how to do it. So like from that experience, what did you learn here in Florida?
So it's an agriculture product. This happens like with everybody, to be honest.
I mean, it does. Yeah. It's not a shock.
So
to us.
the tiniest bit of bud rot, botrytis, you know, can make it into a flower. It's just like food. You know what I mean? You open your blueberries, you're going to find something. You know, if they sat in the wrong condition, maybe you stuck them on the counter for an hour, put them back in your fridge.
I bought some from Publix.
2 days later, you got some mold growing on it.
Yeah.
Right. So something could happen in the cultivation where, you know, there's 50 pounds there. And a lot of the people that are doing the trimming, packaging, and all that stuff, they're just getting trained on this. So they don't have tons of years of experience. A lot of trimmers and packagers in California that have been doing it for 10 years already.
Something they'd catch.
Can catch it, you know, possibly. But a lot of times, RS11 is a tough one. It's super dense flower. This has happened with the biggest brands in California, is when it went into packaging, you don't see it unless you bust it open all the way into the middle, right?
And then at that point, you're ruining top colas for the market.
You are, which is fine. We did that like crazy because we already knew that RS11 is super dense.
Okay.
We've been doing this nonstop. Like Brian and Trent are psychos about it. Their QC is crazy. They're ripping open buds like by the hundreds. You have no idea how much weed gets wasted to try and get out to the market the perfect product. You know, they package them, set them down for like, set them into processing or whatever for like a week, rip them open, bust open the flowers.
That's actually
like this
crazy.
This QC process is unreal. That's why I need to get you guys there to see. There's a lot of different steps and scenarios that it has to go through to get out. Now it still can happen, right? And then the Florida conditions don't help. So say it goes into a plastic Mylar bag. So this is why we're pulling the Mylar bags, because possibly that was the problem, right? This weed is so fire. And I've heard a couple people say it has a dull nose every once in a while. And I'm like, I opened the bags, I smoked it.
You just opened it in front
Brian
of us.
and Trent are like, they're insane about it. Like they'll tell me if it's dull, if it's not, you know, if it's not it, they know just as much as I know. This is the best part of it.
Do you, honestly, Chase, do we want to crack that right now?
So I bought one of your Apple Scotti's. I left it sealed because I wanted you to see it like
Thank
straight
God.
out the bag. Yeah.
Please.
All right.
We were going to do it on one of the
do that
surprise
live,
ones, but
yeah.
I think it fits so well into the conversation
No,
right
yeah,
now that
me
let's go
too.
ahead and crack that bad boy.
Definitely.
The thing that I kind of want to say, and that like is the biggest thing that like I think that a lot of people in Florida specifically don't understand, and like I'm gonna make a like somewhat bold claim here, but for anyone that actually has ever grown weed, especially in Florida, it's not every single grow here in Florida has a mold issue. Like
Yeah,
whether
it's
it's something
challenging
that's
for
gotten
sure.
to the shelves or their walls in their break room are covered in mold. I'm talking about a specific company there, but it's just like everyone in Florida has these issues. And at the end of the day, in my opinion, it's how you react to the situation. And if you really have the patient's best interest in mind, which in my opinion, that's what you did.
Yeah. Destroy it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what has to happen, which is, you know, it's tough for most people to say, and it it causes a lot of problems.
Make sure you're still.
But that's what we'll do. And we destroyed batches that had no issues. Like we've destroyed stuff that no one knew about. We've destroyed over $1 million worth of product.
That's kind of heartbreaking.
This is just
to hear.
for it not smoking. You know what I mean?
Really? Just it wasn't up
Just
to
for
your
it not
QC?
smoking. Yeah, it wasn't up to QC.
Yeah, I got 2 eighths of that, so I already smoked the
Hell
other
yeah.
one. So I left that
No,
one.
we're opening this live.
Yeah.
It's amazing. The nose is there. That's how Apple Scotti should smell. So that's why I was freaking out. Some people were telling me, you know, and it happens. And then say you buy an eighth, and I brought like a pound of weed to Florida. and I the first time I came and I was working with the Flowery, I went to Homestead.
It's got that sour.
And
Christmas.
I brought a big jar of flour, and I left it in my rental car for about a half hour, and it was fire. Like it was so fire, loud.
Gone,
I was gonna
right?
flex it. I was gonna show everyone, look, this is what we have. You know, blah blah blah. I go out to the car and crack it, and it was straight ruined.
No,
Like,
the heat,
the
dude,
nose
the
was
Florida
gone.
heat will do it in a
What
minute.
happens is the stem holds a little bit of moisture, right? So it gets in the packaging, and then the heat gets to the packaging, pulls the moisture from the stem, and re-moistens the flower. And when that happens,
That's
the
some
nose,
science shit.
the
That's
nose
crazy,
is dull.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
It'll dull in the nose right away. So it has to be re-dried again to try and get the nose back. But
Wow.
when you lose it, you know, this is fire. See, hear that?
Dude,
snap?
I love that shit. I smoked the whole eighth.
What's
like
been your
10
favorite that you've grown in Florida so far?
So this Apple Scotti is really special because, for one, no one has it. My boy Christian, who's Counterculture on IG, it's Biscotti times apples and bananas, and he gave it to me, and we've just been really running it up. It's not out to the market at all. So, and it's just really different terp than what you're seeing. Like everyone wants candy or whatever else.
Yeah.
What are some new things that haven't hit the shelves yet that you're most excited for, whether it be Cali,
Man, there's
Florida?
a lot of cool stuff coming. So my plan is to bring the homies with me.
Okay.
So we're about to drop Doja Pack out here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know you guys work a lot out there in Cali. So like this is kind of what I mean, and I think that this is a great like perspective for a lot of our audience as well. Like, can you give us a little bit of a rundown of like the who's who of breeders out in Cali? Because like I don't know, and I'm sure a lot of our
So
audience
breeders,
doesn't.
I just mentioned Christian. He's he's been breeding this dude's been in the cannabis game for he's probably been in it for 30 years, and he's been breeding for probably 20 years.
Okay.
But he's putting out a lot of new dope stuff. He's always got like some really cool, like just totally different terps. That's kind of what he's into.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Dad Vibes, I don't know if you saw him. He did the snacks. So I pheno hunted the snacks, and that he bred it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a phenomenal breeder as well too. And then Duke of Doja, which is Doja Pack's partner, my boy Rusty. He's been breeding forever too. He's just, all these guys have been in the game for so long, and they've been breeding on the back end. Like I've been breeding forever, right? But I would never consider myself a breeder at this point, because I'm just making crosses in it for myself or for my brand.
Mm-hmm. So if you're not smoking Preferred Gardens, that's who you're smoking?
Is those from those breeders most of the time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's
I got a lot of my own weed to smoke is the problem, and I'm constant.
Sounds like a good
I've been
problem.
popping 50 seeds a week for years, for tons of years. And if you think about that, that could be 50 different strains. So it's 50 different phenos. If it's one strain, it's 50 different phenos. So like us having to QC all this stuff, it's
tiring.
It's funny. It's hard. Like people are like, "Oh, poor Dave," but it's a fucking lot of stuff to really like. We just did a bunch of QC and we rolled like 20 different joints of 20 different strains. So
okay.
What is your QC QC,
so,
your R&D process?
With pheno hunting, it's pretty vicious. So we pop the seeds. We usually take 3 clones from that seed. So we grow them up to a little mom. We take a top off it. That's the first set of clones. We destroy that. Second set, we're normally plant those as like a backup while we cut the third set of clones. That's what happens when you pop seeds, is you have to go through like kind of a stabilization phase is what I call it, because you'll notice when you're growing a lot of seeds, you get a lot of hermaphrodites.
Okay.
So that means the plant is unstable. So it'll throw off like male flowers that have pollen in them that can pollinate your entire crop. And then, so if you're pheno hunting in like a big space that you're doing production or just growing whatever strains you want to grow in, it's a dangerous situation because you're growing a seed that can potentially ruin the rest of your crop and turn it into all seeded weed that you wouldn't even know what the cross was, so you wouldn't even be able to utilize those seeds. The only thing you could do is like turn it into extract or whatever, but it's probably not up to its potential because it's been pregnant, Mm-hmm. So you grow those out. That on that third set, we grow those out. We put them into production area, which is normally I do it in my greenhouse because indoor it's just doesn't really make sense. There's a lot of space in the greenhouse and there's a lot of variables in the greenhouse. So if it is unstable, it's going to show you almost right away. Mm-hmm. Like say you find something that's unstable, it hermaphrodites, and it's seeding itself or pollinating or something. Then we just kill it. We catch it early. So we're always scouting like nonstop when we pop seeds, and we'll catch it early. Normally you see it on the bottom. You'll see what we call is like a banana, which is like a little flower that comes out. That's the male flower, and that'll have pollen on it that can ruin everything. So we'll cull those. We kill all those off. Say if we pheno hunted it indoor, you might not get that. It might not show because the conditions are so perfect. The plant is spoiled, So it might need like your air conditioner or dehu to have a little bit of problems to show in the middle, but you're not scouting that anymore indoor because you're confident with your chosen plant, that you think is stable. And then all of a sudden it seeds up your whole crop. It's happened to me so many times, but now with my experience, it it never happens. Knock on wood.
You definitely are.
But it can.
Yeah, you're definitely a firm believer in the. You ever heard the saying like 2 L's make a W?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I hear that a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
All my W's are from L's for sure.
Yeah,
honestly, every single one of them.
yeah. I mean, how else do you like really learn? You know, like you could look it up, you could see it in a textbook, like you could do as much Google search as you want.
You gotta learn it the hard way because you got to experience the L.
Yeah.
You got to experience the bad stuff. So yeah, we grow them out from that stage though. And then it goes through kind of a chosen process, which we're extremely picky. The main thing we're looking for is like a great smell in the beginning when the plant is thriving, you know, is really the nose, because you can't smoke it until it's dried, cured, you know, everything else. If it doesn't have any nose, we destroy it all. Yeah, it all goes to manufacturing, or honestly, we destroy it at the greenhouse because we'll put it in the trim bag and that gets processed to distillate or whatever for another company.
Is there anything you've had to destroy that you've really loved yourself, but you just know that the overall market wouldn't?
Or like it didn't yield a lot or something?
Yeah, so I have a library. I hold about 250 strains at all times, and a lot. You know, I have some stuff from way back when I, you know, not when I first started, because I went through a lot of stuff and lost kind of everything multiple times. But I have stuff that I have held on to, genetics that I want to breed with.
Is that seeds or culture tissue?
They're moms.
Okay.
So what I'll do is
So
I'll
you have
grow.
this room?
I have a space like the veg room where the mothers are. So all I do is I just keep growing them. I grow them up to a certain height, about 3 feet. They last 3 months at the most, and I take clones off of them, regenerate the mom. Once those root, I kill off the big mom. That's a new mom. You know, so that's how I just keep
it cycling through.
Keep it cycling, nice, fresh, healthy clones. If it's not, then I just, you know, wait until that happens and take the clones from that.
You got to have a soft spot in your heart for like one of those in particular. What's like, what is Dave's favorite smoke at the end of the day?
That's a hard one, because my favorite thing to do is the R&D and test the new stuff.
Trying new thing after new thing.
And I get sick of stuff, you know,
really
pretty damn quick now, because I was on a repetitive phase for a long time, like when cookies was hot back in the day. It was like smoking nothing but cookies for like multiple years, you know, and I figured out that that's just not what I like. It's funny, RS11 stuck with me for like at least a year.
Really?
Like I smoke that every day because it's like creative. It's not like a couch lock, you know, lay you down. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not that situation. It's more of a creative daytime smoke.
So you like something that's going to like help like enhance your day-to-day work. Not
Lemon Tree, RS11, and the opposite end of that would be snacks.
Okay.
And people get creative off of the Apple Scotti, but it knocks me down.
See, that's what I was going to tell you. Is like, it actually did make me super, super creative. I was having a very creative, like,
so I've been hearing
stump.
that there's some serious potential with that Apple Scotti. I think it still isn't to its full potential yet. It's so new, and we're just really learning that plant. And if you go to the facility and see it, you'll understand why it's special.
That's not its full potential.
It's amazing, but honestly, the newest batch is better.
Really?
Just to be honest, there's a new batch that's curing right now.
All right, good to know.
And it's better, and it's different. Yeah. It's really fucking loud.
So circling back to the Flowery a little bit, how much like control do you have over like the grow / like the sales, like pricing and stuff of like your product?
That's a good question. I don't really have control over the pricing of my product.
Really?
No.
That's going to be all Flowery stuff?
Yeah. So, and it has to make sense for a brand partner situation, right? Mm-hmm. You know, they have to, sales is not my lane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, so sitting here talking,
I can't have anything to do with that. It's just, if I don't stay in my lane, then there's a problem, because I have a lot of things going on right now.
One of the most relatable things that I think you said was like when you go and like do these meetups or like meet and greets, you say it kind of like takes you out of your element a little bit, but then someone asks you a grow question and you're right back in it. And sitting here even talking to you now, I can see like just the passion exudes from you, bro. Like every time we get on the grow topic, you're just like, I could give you a fucking history book about this shit, man.
It's my thing, bro. It's funny that because I don't talk a lot. Mm-hmm. Like I've been gardening for so long by myself, or with like one other guy who's on the other side of the room. Mm-hmm. So I'm talking to plants. You know what I mean? But it's my purpose. Mm-hmm. So when we get in discussion about it, then I get excited always, every time, still to this day. Anytime I need to get back home to get to the plants. I need to get to, that's my space. And like I said, I need to stay in my lane. So sales is not my thing. Retail is not ever going to be my thing.
So I guess my question to you is, when's the last time you've been on like a prolonged vacation, dude?
I don't take vacation. I'm working. Yeah. I don't really take vacations. I am a family man. I have 2 young boys, 7 and 12.
Congrats,
awesome, man.
Yeah,
Hell
you
yeah,
guys
congrats.
met my wife.
Mm-hmm.
We run the company together. There's a lot on the plate.
It's kind of, bro, I honestly was talking this morning. I was talking to my girl and I was just like, yeah, he's bringing like his crew by. I don't really know what that means. Like, I don't know if that's his family and like kids or like, I don't even know if he has
It
them.
is
like,
my family though.
and that's so cool to see though, man. Like, I don't think that like, so what does a day-to-day in your life look like, bro? For someone like who's running all these facilities, has a family and is an entrepreneur, like you have to be a king of delegation.
Every day on my sensors. I can work remote because I have substrate sensors. I have sensors that are controlling on my HVAC, dehumidification. So I know what's going on in my room at all times. So if I'm not on my phone or my computer watching that, then I'm straight to the grows. So I just normally up early, check all my data, basically like, is anything broken at this facility? Which one do I have to mobilize and get to first? Because something's wrong at one of them.
That's exactly what I was going to say is, what do you do if something's wrong? You just pack up first flight if it's out of state?
Mobilize, yeah, straight up. I mean, I have crazy, I have some solid guys that get down.
Yeah.
Like Maxim, I don't know if you guys ever saw him, but he's been with me since the medical days. So he's my right-hand man. So like in Cali right now, my farm is a solid hour from my my indoor facility. So and he lives at the farm. Mm-hmm. So say there's a problem at the indoor facility, I can call him right now and he'll go over there and handle it.
Oh, cool, nice.
He's dialed in. He's super dialed in. So I do have some backup there, but it's one person. How fast can he get there? An hour at the fastest. So
that's so funny, man. Yeah. It is really cool to see, like, usually when you hear like entrepreneurs or people that kind of like are really passionate about their craft, a lot in the back of their head they're thinking about is like, all right, how do I know that this is obviously different for growers, but how do I remove...
Feel free, man. I'm going to turn off that fan as well, actually.
Just give me
2 seconds.
Oh yeah, we can smoke whatever, but do you ever feel as if like you want to step out? Because most people who create a brand, grow a business, and like try and scale it like that, in the back of their mind, they're like, it's freedom at the end of the day for a lot of people. And do you think that you'll ever get there, or is it just like you don't really want to get there?
You mean leave the grow and just go brand, period?
Yeah,
Because
a little bit more
brands,
brand, exactly.
Most brands in the cannabis space are not farmers.
Exactly, yeah. Or they'll like start there and then they'll take, like you've done, you've obviously gathered together an absolute amazing team, and then they'll get that team and then they'll head someone here and head someone here and head someone there, and then they're working like 2 days a week.
Yeah, but so they're working 2 days a week, but they're actually working 7 days a week. Because they're running, like, you have to manage the manager, and that manager manages another, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it always goes up to the top.
It's a bigger fish cycle.
Yeah, unless you turn into like an investor or I'm just not that guy. I can't do it. I have to earn every bit of it. There's no way I'm going to work 2 days a week. I'll lose my fucking mind.
It sounds like you're living the vacation every single day of the life that you want to live, and it doesn't sound
it's
like
my purpose, so it kind of is a vacation. That's what it is. I mean, we're in Florida right now selling weed and hanging out here. We're about to smoke a bunch of doinks. You know
yes,
what I mean?
we are.
Like, oh, it's so hard.
Oh, yeah. I mean, dude, that's kind of how we reflect on it sometimes.
You know?
Yeah, we'll be like, oh, wow, well, oh, poor us. We had to drive to Miami this weekend to go, like, test hash holes. Oh, poor us.
Yeah. That's a good thing. Us.
Yeah.
You know, not really, though. Us. It is, like, we're all big weed club. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? People try to separate, it's California, Florida. No, it's us. Mm-hmm. Like,
as a community.
I am you. You know what I mean? I am all these people online talking about the plant. Like, I relate with you and the plant, and that's how all my friends were made, is from smoking together and all that stuff. Thank you. Dude. This is the permanent marker. This is what Dozer's going to drop here first, and it's fucking.
Oh my god! So we're getting a little exclusive taste right
exclusive,
now.
Yeah.
Holy, I'll grab a. I have a lighter if you don't have one.
I got a torch.
Perfect. The real professional shit. this was which one again? The
Permanent marker.
permanent marker from
It
Doja.
gets you high as fuck.
Let's go, guys. That's sexy. Oh my god, dude. Holy fuck. So as we light up here, one quick question I have for someone who is so dialed in on the grow side, how do you react, or how does it make you feel when you have something that goes wrong on the sales or marketing side, like the BOGO thing that happened the other day?
Hurts me bad, honestly. I take the brand so serious, and now that I can't like voice my opinion too much because I'm getting blocked out by a lot of social factors because we're cannabis. It's tough, and I'm not part of the sales situation like we talked about. So
exactly. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't know, and even just that clarification alone I think is good, because you see people on the internet, you see people being like, David, like, why did this happen, like,
and same with the Flowery, like they're crazy busy. Like they're a small team, to be honest. Like there's a lot of people involved because there's multiple stores and whatnot, but the people that are running the show, it's like a family, it's like a man and his daughter. And like we were just talking about, 710 is a massive, amazing following. Like 710 is a phenomenal company. Brad, he's the homie. He's a fucking passionate dude, and he destroys more product than anyone in the game.
Really?
No joke. His QC is
Wow.
I learned a lot from him.
shout out Brad.
Shout out Brad. Yeah, for real. 710 doesn't play, and it's cool to be partners with them over there.
The flavor on this is phenomenal, but since you have the opportunity here, is there anything that you want to say about that situation that went down?
The BOGO stuff? Anything
at all, just anything to the patients in Florida might have a misrepresentation of your intentions or your brand.
So I don't know how I'm not educated enough on what happened with the BOGO situation. From what I understand, there was never a BOGO. It was a buy two, get one. Someone released some kind of code for a BOGO as a mistake. Human error. It happens. Like I said, they're running thin. They have a lot going on, and this is all new. So they're in a learning phase that people got to understand. It hasn't even been a year. You know what I mean? We're putting out good product. There's a lot of growing that's happening right now, and I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I know I got the email for a buy two get one, and then I started getting messages saying that there was a buy one get one. So I'm gonna address that further later, but right now I don't know enough.
All good,
no
there,
worries,
man.
man.
Yeah, you guys probably know more than me, to be honest.
Honestly, dude, like I've kind of said,
as
that's
much,
not
dude.
something we like to dive into at the end of the day.
Yeah.
As long as the things that we like to concern ourselves with is the product quality and is the company doing good for the patients, and that's the only thing that we really
I would love to give it all to them for free.
Yeah.
Funny story is when I first came here in California, I give out weed. Like I pass out flower. I want people to sample it and smoke it.
That's so cool.
Not many companies do that.
No, they care about profit.
Yeah. So I came here and I did that with some I passed out some stuff at Rolling Loud, and I got hell rained on me, not by the Flowery, by the state.
Really?
Oh, wow.
So
how does the state, do you just get a phone call from an anonymous number?
Letter, going after them, and then they have to discuss it with me, and it sucks because I love this situation. Like this is, I would move to Florida. I love Florida. I love the people. The culture is there's mad passion here, and it's kind of fallen off in California, to be honest. Like that passion that we used to have with the medical, it's because it was medical. Now it's like recreational, and everyone's just buying the
bright
cheapest
colors, high
pre-rolls,
THC.
and-
It's oversaturated
Yeah.
now, you think?
It's definitely oversaturated. We do well there as a company, but there's some passion missing. It's a smaller circle of passionate people that are really about.
A lot of
the
people
plant.
have told
It's
us that
become-
before.
It's shifted over to this weird money thing. You know what I mean? It's like who's making the most a month or
A
something.
different kind of green.
And we don't give a shit about that.
At the end of
It's like, can we keep doing this? Is it sustainable for us? Can the team eat? Can we all just move forward and try to grow the best weed we possibly can and put out the best product we possibly can and connect with the people?
honestly, that's the kind of thing, as fucked as the Florida market is with the medical laws and regulations and stuff, I think it does kind of foster like a really good environment for learning and growth about the actual plant on an in-depth, like kind of level that a lot of other markets that are recreational don't go into.
Yeah. A lot of people think just federal legalization is like the key. It's just not. Like,
what's your predictions for Florida for the future, legality wise, and what's your predictions for the U.S. for the future, legality wise?
Eventually, it's going to become federally legal, and that the reason behind that is a financial reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the feds want to collect an extra tax.
Mm-hmm.
For Florida, I don't really know. I'm not too heavy into the politics here. Like, I don't watch TV at all. Period. So I get information from people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I literally watch zero TV. Everyone was saying it's going to be recreational soon, blah, blah, blah. From what I hear, I think that's probably going to be like a 5-year stint.
Yeah, we
before that ever happens.
Yeah. What was your guess, buddy? 2027?
Me?
Yeah, didn't you say 2027?
I remember we made a video a while ago where I was so wrong. I don't know. That House bill that came up, like the first one ever where they started like proposing or whatever, that made it to the Senate. I got all like,
oh, yeah.
happy. I was like, oh, is this going to actually happen for once? And it didn't.
Yeah.
So I don't really know anymore with Florida, dude. Honestly, I'm not sure that from the way other places do it, sometimes I feel like recreational's kind of ruined it, like you were saying, in a way.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's also like when it's rec, people know like they can just kind of, any old cat who's 21 and plus can just like go on Google and look it up. But like a medical patient, they had to apply for the card, like they have to pay that fee. So for them, it's like that in itself like weeds out like a little bit of people.
There's some obvious problems as far as the allocation, you know, like 2.5 ounces or whatnot.
Shit's crazy.
You know, like that's a huge problem.
Yeah. You think you could do that? 2.5 O's every 35 days?
I smoke 2.5 ounces a day. What do you mean? So I smoked 1,000 joints last night. What the fuck are you talking about,
How would
Chase?
we get through one session of QC? You know what I mean? It's not happening. But no, it's just unfair. Like, yeah, it's a decent amount of flour, right? But if you want more, you should be able to get more, right?
Who's the state
or
to
if
tell
you
you how
need
much
more,
medicine you take?
a lot of people need more.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I know that there's that weird exception form, but I think it only goes up to like 5 ounces or something, or like 10 ounces for terminal or something.
I've seen up to 9 personally.
Really?
Spent someone with 9.
I think someone told me it's like 5 ounces, and then terminal illnesses is like up to 10. But
Don't quote not unlimited for terminal cancer or something.
Right. You can only
We're still going to put a limit on it, and you got to pay us
more.
You know?
Yeah, that's pretty fucked.
Crazy.
How crazy do you think it'll be? What's like insurance companies pay for weed for people and their medicine and stuff? Like, you think
that's gonna ruin a lot of stuff, because like it does say, like anything with the insurance situation, oh, now insurance is paying for it, it's cost triple, so no one can actually buy it for a regular price. You know what I mean?
Sheesh. All right, Chase, what do you think of this weed? Dude, this is freaking.
Dude, I love this.
This is a doink, man.
Burden.
got me a lot more
The
talkative.
resin
for
ring
sure.
on this. The
Shout out
white
Mike.
ash.
Yeah, Mike's fucking
Holy
got bar. Mike
crap.
barred all these for us.
Dude,
And
funny.
this is fresh. This is super fresh. So
Look at that
normally I
burn.
like to cure this a little bit longer, but this permanent marker smokes.
So
Look
this-
at it. Look
Yeah,
at
that's
the
what I
red
was
on
saying.
it.
Is it's keeping
Red.
its like.
This is permanent marker by Doja Pack.
You could probably
said.
sit this up on the
Yeah.
table like this. It would burn the whole way through.
Oh yeah,
So how'd you get into Michigan?
Michigan.
Yeah, we want to go
So
up there soon.
I consulted for a group in Michigan. We actually were building the place. It's taken like 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's still not online. Some buddies out there that I'm gonna run probably 500 lights or so. But I got contacted by my boy Craft Farmer, if you know who he is. He had another project with this guy Mark that we've been working on pretty heavy. So we haven't released any flour into Michigan yet, packaged under the brand. It's more of just a cultivation situation.
I just got
Cultivating
mesmerized by how white this ash was.
Yeah, Michigan laws are pretty forgiving, right? In the sense of like,
Yeah, how does so?
Michigan's pretty chill.
Yeah.
They just went recreational in Detroit, but there's just a lot of property available, and you can kind of pay to play. You can pay to get a license out there. So I don't necessarily own a license. It's more of a licensing deal
Another
and a
partnership.
consulting situation. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So we're producing flour out there. There's a dope ass team that they're they're really killing it. They just grind.
Where do you think Preferred Gardens is going to go next?
Working on Arizona. Arizona's a nice market. A lot of good, there's some decent quality out there, and there's some passion for the plant as well. But I don't know. We're going to go everywhere, I think, at some point. We just everywhere that wants us.
It's so crazy because you guys really do have a potential. And I don't know if this is really your goal, because at the same time, at a certain point, I mean, with scale comes like quality issues and stuff.
Yeah,
but
definitely. It's all partnerships.
Yeah, but 20, 30 years down the line, when maybe, this stuff is federal or whatever, and there's going to be those name staple brands that everyone knows about in the whole country, it's going to be like Preferred Gardens is going to be one of them.
That'd be amazing.
Like crazy, right? It's
That's
like,
the goal.
Dude,
that would be amazing.
A funny little story as I'm sitting here smoking this, and it's so nicely rolled. You sent that text, you're like, Mike's rolling up bars.
Yeah.
We were like, what does that mean?
I swear, because in college, like that doesn't mean, that means like
Cali style. I see you guys ashing the joints. We don't ash the joint.
What?
The point of that is, so it's more, we think of these as like cigars, right? When you look at like connoisseur cigar buyers and rollers and that whole industry,
it doesn't fall off, right?
They keep their ash on there for insulation, basically. So it cools the joint. You'll notice I'll let my joint sit here for a little bit, cool it, keep your ash on there, have it a little more insulated. So when you dab, you want it to be not crazy high temp and burn up real quick, because you lose the terps.
Yeah. Same
so
thing.
you want to get better flavor. You let it sit, cool, hit it kind of softly. We have a technique on how we smoke.
Oh, wow.
And it's more just like high connoisseur level.
I mean, that's where we're at, baby.
You're not smoking every
Mike,
joint like this.
I honestly think is the best roller in the world. Honestly.
I mean,
even though he's my boy, like, I honestly think he's the best roller in the world.
Shit's crazy.
A lot of people can roll these bars, but his QC is next level. Like, he'll roll, if it's not perfect, like, you don't see there's no imperfections on this at all. If it's not perfect, if it's like a little bit too loose or any little thing, he'll just cut that thing open and redo it.
Oh my
over
God.
and over again.
That's mad.
And he does hundreds of these things. He's a beast. They smoke great.
Does he hand roll all the hand rolls?
Yeah.
Only him?
Only him.
Dude, that's
Savage.
fucking sick.
Yeah,
That's
I
so
won't
cool.
let anyone else roll him. Now there is a guy who's coming up. Jake rolls. This dude's been barring him up pretty heavy too.
What's his name?
Jake's rolls. So you check him out on IG. He's a beast. Yeah, well. But him and Mike have been tearing it up. There's a lot of homies that roll. Like, the rolling industry is getting huge right now. People are rolling all these joints. It's pretty sick.
I didn't even know there was a rolling industry.
Yeah,
Oh
dude,
man,
what?
it's insane.
We're not there yet here.
It's the new situation. That's why we did the hand rolls here in Florida. It's
No, that was really cool.
This
That was
is what
smart,
we do.
man.
We did it in Cali and Florida simultaneously. Did that drop?
When I first saw these on like that you guys are releasing these, I thought it was excuse me, but so smart, because damn, as you guys can see, it's hitting right now. But no, I thought it was so smart because personally, like, you can ask Aaron, I was like so against pre-rolls the first like year and a half of this program, because I was convinced it was like those machines that they run through and it's just like whoosh, 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 and then you get it and like half the bottom's not even stuffed properly, or like it's trim or whatever. So yeah, bringing this was something that I'm hoping other dispensaries.
We're forcing a change, yeah, because pre-rolls, the truth is, people started dissecting them. It was normally like some trim and stems and like whatever leftovers
I've seen those videos.
were there, and they put them in the big machine and it pumps out a bunch of pre-rolls. These hand rolls are they're tops. We're not even using the smalls with our hand rolls. These are tops. These are like flour that you would pull out of that 8 bag.
Dude, that's how it should be. I mean,
and you can cut it open and there's not one stem in there. There's no problems inside these.
Also, I'm not trying to be a wiener, but I'm just putting mine out just because my apartment complex is fucking.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No, it's okay. I'm not. You don't have to. I just like 3 joints at once. I was just like, oh shit, it's getting smoky in here.
Out,
yeah. Sorry, I feel so bad saying that. I just was.
This permanent marker's bad strong too,
dude.
It'll permanent mark the fuck out of you. No, like, you'll be ruined from it. This is a nice one,
dude. I can't believe that I've went 23 years of my life and I just was taught how to finally smoke a joint properly.
So you see it and you see the resin ring.
Mm-hmm.
You let it cool. You see the ash, how it's stacked up and nice. That's like, you know, there's a lot of little nuances that we've learned throughout the years on how to get it more flavor from your joint, basically. And that's what it's all about, flavors.
And it's an experience just like cigar smoking.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, and it's the way that he grinds them and stuff. A lot of times you can sit this on the ash.
Dude, that is literally insane.
You know
like, oh my God.
That huge joint, it might not work this time.
Oh
Yeah,
shit, dude, that's literally insane.
Crazy, right?
The DabRite Pro is now live on dabrite.com. They are the best in the game when it comes to dabbing at the perfect temperature, with the adjustable sensor arms, sound alerts to tell you when to take the perfect dab, as well as the new body style and profile option if you're sharing with a friend. This thing is next level, and we use it every day over here at Couchlock. Again, that is dabrite.com to get the new DabRite Pro. Now back to the program.
Dude, I wonder if the camera is picking up this box right now. This is insane.
It definitely
we got a really cool segment for David here. We've gotten kind of like a sampler platter of some of the different brands here in Florida. We're going to have him smell them, look at them, maybe smoke a few, and just kind of get his overall reaction. They're going to be unmarked. He's not going to know where they're from, so it's completely genuine. And then at the bottom of the cup, he'll turn it over and he'll have the brand and the strain. So I'm going to go get that ready real quick.
That's sick.
Yeah, I've been needing to see everyone's weed. These joints are an 1/8 each too. So yeah, you'll see they're packed way tighter. The ones at the Flowery.
I was gonna say that's crazy. I thought these were the 2 gram ones.
We're gonna change them over there because we're gonna pack them a little tighter.
Wow. It's amazing that he's able to get the same size and structure while still fitting in an additional 1.5 grams. Is like,
yeah, so his
stupid,
it's the
bro.
same thing with the plant. It's all about the consistency, and it's hard to get that perfect consistency, and that's what he wants. And he's just, he's
it's
crazy
an art
about
for
it.
sure, bro.
That's what makes you, like a cultivator that is a psychopath about how perfect it is every time. And all the little things that people wouldn't even care or think about is a big issue to them.
Do you think?
What I mean?
Yeah. Do you think? Do you see what just happened? I went like this because I was like listening and I actually knocked off the ash.
Oh damn! That's the problem, is it gets messy sometimes.
It's okay. I'll fix it. But no. I was like really into rolling for like the longest time. Like I used to love it. You can ask Aaron. Like our freshman year, it was like he'd come over. Like I'd sit there and I was like. Aaron never really cared to roll. He was like always like a glass guy, but I started rolling because like I started smoking when I was like in high school and stuff. And
I'll teach you how to roll these.
Oh yeah,
do that on camera.
Dude, that'd be hard.
You right there. If you're a supporter of the podcast, I need you to do me a favor really quick and go to the link down below. This episode is sponsored by CanRank. They are a solution if you want to find the closest products to you. If you want to see who has what, when it's got it, if something's going to drop, you need to go to canrank.com. Again, they are the supporter of this episode. We love CanRank. Honestly, I think it's a website that could really do good for a lot of people in this industry, especially newbies. It's a great way to learn all the dispos around you. And now to the episode. Ladies and gentlemen, what we have here, a few different eighths from around the market. We're going to let him smell them, maybe taste them if he wants. It's up to him if he likes it. They were just taken out of the bags. We literally had the conversation. Chase was like, just dump it in. It'll be fine for an hour. I'm like, no, it's not good. It's going to ruin it.
I was like an hour in your room.
Hopefully it doesn't fuck it up
like,
too much.
It's got to be the same. Yeah. It's got to be the same as if you just purchased it.
Yeah.
It's got to be fair.
Yeah, so these are all like...
This is a fun one to start with, in my opinion. Just do whatever you'd like with this.
Yeah.
Let's see.
One of them...
Strain number 1.
RS11?
No.
It's an RS Pheno?
I have no idea, honestly. These are from... Some of them are from
This is hilarious.
distos
It's not a
and stuff as
preferred strain at all. I promise you that.
Yeah. We didn't trick you like that.
Crazy sherbet nose.
First, where you think it's from, and then if you want to guess the strain, you can. If you guess one of these strains,
it's fire. It's got a good nose. It is good.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't know if it would smoke good, but it's got a nose to it.
And just so you know, none of these are preferred. We took the Apple Scotti out.
Yeah, we ended up showing it to you in the podcast because it felt appropriate in the middle of it. But
Is this Alien Labs?
No, bro. Do you want me to tell you or do you want to look?
Tell me.
This is Cookie's Cheetah Piss.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
This isn't Cheetah Piss.
That's what they sold it as.
I have Cheetah Piss.
yeah, I swear.
He said, "Nah, that's not a cheetah piss."
Nah,
I guess it could be their cut. Those are the homies, by the way.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This is fire, though.
No,
I mean, it's super nice.
Our idea in this was also it kind of gives you that like we understand that like
It's really Sherby.
yeah we understand that too like brand and like your friends and stuff like that. We don't want to get you like kind of like
Yeah, in the middle of that.
yeah. So we gave you an
'cause I never
anonymous
Even
feedback.
fucking people that deserve it, I don't do that because it's hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's fucking hard.
Yeah, exactly. So we were just thinking like even if you I don't expect you to be like this fucking sucks, but
Yeah.
This one you might say that. And it's okay.
Damn.
that's funny.
He said, "Damn."
The thing about cannabis though is you'll start noticing probably a little bit later is the look doesn't always matter.
No, sometimes
I think Skittles is like the best weed on the planet, and it's some of the ugliest weed on the planet.
I mean, it grows super average looking, man.
Super average looking.
I've had a few strains like that.
I don't know about this. You didn't leave me with much.
No, I know that
It's
one
not
was.
even a
Well, this is
gram.
not somewhere where we ever shop. It was kind of like back in the cabinet grab, so we
Yeah.
might honestly just leave this as anonymous.
There's not much nose at all, and it's multiple colors. It almost looks like two different flowers in here.
We're gonna spare. We'll bleep it out. It's weed, but we'll spare
it?
them
Damn.
the.
Look at that. That's a different strain than that.
Uh...
You know what I mean? Look at the leaf structure, the color, everything.
Oh fuck! That's by far the worst out of the batch.
Yeah, I
So throw that away.
That one's not fair. That one was like we knew that one was like yeah. So
Smells dirty.
yeah, I can't get nothing out of it. Damn, that sucks.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
All right, fuck it.
I could throw something out there as far as strain if that's the guessing.
Go ahead.
game,
Yeah.
but,
What do you think?
I wish I can get a smell from it. I'm just smelling like leaf. Sunset sherbet.
You're not shady meringue cake, is what I was told.
Shady meringue cake.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
I think he might. I think he might guess one of them.
Are these all different companies?
These are most. There's one that's the same.
This looks good. Smells kind of fruity though. Guessing this is Jungle Boy's weed.
No, but that's a compliment to the company for sure.
No, it looks good. It smells pretty good too. I don't know what strain it is though.
It's kind of a unique strain, not one I've ever heard of before.
Yeah, it smells like some kind of pie. That's why I was thinking Jungle Boys because they do a lot of like grape pie or
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of sweet like that. I'm not sure what it is though.
That's gonna be Gold Leaf's what G times Q.
Oh yeah, you guys are just trying to set me up.
No, we didn't want to bring you like a bunch of shitty weed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
for sure.
So we just like got
It's
That's
pretty
a-
good. It's got good color, structure. It looks like it burns good because it's it's
Gold Leaf's one of the up and coming.
not wet.
It's one of the up and coming companies here in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
They're
Dope.
following the Flowery based delivery model.
Dope.
We did
Oh,
get
yeah.
to do a podcast with them in their grow, so that was kind of cool.
Solid. Were they good people?
They're good people. It was kind of the
That's all that
weirdest.
matters.
I'm sure
That's
that.
us. They fall in the us category. you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And the craziest
That's an
thing,
important thing to pay attention to.
and I'm sure you're familiar with this. Like the craziest thing to me was like everyone just knew what they were supposed to be doing, and they were doing it without like any communication. Like it just seemed like the chillest environment, and like everyone was doing their thing. But like I don't know how else to describe it. Where like I don't know. It
What
was
kind
wild.
of grow do they have?
Indoor and hoop house.
It's indoor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they have a mixed,
Yep.
as well. Pretty cool stuff. I can show you some photos and stuff after.
Hell yeah.
All right.
I want to check out some other cultivators.
This
out
one's-
here pretty bad.
This one, I think if you were to guess one of them, it might be this one.
Looks just like Oreos, but Is this Jungle Boys? Yeah, it's solid. Is it an 8th?
No, that was the top chunk out of that 8th. I
sure.
can't, as you can see, I couldn't hold back from that one. But I see the searching in your eyes as you smell it.
For sure. It's familiar, but sadly, I don't smoke a lot of other people's weed.
No,
I can imagine, dude. Yeah.
You were close with that last one. That's Zacks Pie from
Oh,
from
this
JB.
is the Zacks Pie?
This
Hell
is the
yeah, I've
Zacks
been
Pie.
wanting to try this, yeah.
You can.
Because you know,
we said if you wanna
that was
try-
like one of their cultivators. That guy passed away. Then
Yeah. Do you want to try it?
Hell yeah.
Let's do
Sure.
it.
Pie strain. It's got that pie nose.
Yeah.
That's why I was thinking the last one, because it has like that sweet pie nose.
Do you want to like smell the other ones first? That way you're like, yeah, exactly.
This one's a hit out here in Florida, huh? I've been seeing this around a lot. The Zacks Pie.
Yeah.
It looks dope too. It looks like Oreos, which is like the best looking weed on the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost
I'm not
brought
sure
that
that it
today.
always smokes
Not it.
like the best in my
Not it.
opinion.
You wonder why the price was lower. And we're not really gonna.
I didn't try your Oreos, but I tried Oreos from Extreme Farming, and like it was the same exact thing. And I've kind of
It's just
talked
the
to it,
terps are not what we like,
but
and
it's a
that's the problem.
showstopper, dog.
Yeah, and the one here like is great, and other people haven't experienced yet. So it's cool to get that out there.
Mm-hmm.
The weed is fucking great, but it's just not Preferred Gardens terp. You know, it's kind of like that you know, that cracker smell, or I don't know how to explain it. We call it cotton smell.
Yeah.
This is nice. Sweet though, it's pretty terpy.
Oh yeah.
We should roll a joint and see how it burns. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's.
Do you
I'll roll up a little mini.
Fuck it.
All right.
Burn up more for a joint.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Hey guys, Chase here. If you want to support the channel directly, our Couch Log Club is the best way to do it. From exclusive content to giveaways to live streams, it's all there for a small price of $2.99 a month. Literally a cup of coffee. If you can't, we understand. All we ask is you please press that like and subscribe button if you're enjoying the content, as it helps us out so much. Now back to the program.
All right, so here is. Do you want to wait or?
No, let's go.
Here's this one. Let's see what you think.
It's good. Just because I like OG. I'd have to smoke it to know.
Perfect Triangle Kush from
Yeah, I was
JB.
gonna say TK for
Yeah.
sure.
Spot on.
That sweeter OG, not like super gas. It's like sweet.
He got one, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, yeah. That's a
um,
I mean, that's like
keep putting out some good stuff.
OG's OG.
This one, I'm kind of like really excited to see what you think on this.
It's like it's just because it's like a Florida thing.
Yeah,
It's a Florida thing.
yeah,
Like, yeah. Like, not like the strain, just like
yeah. The brand itself.
Cure is pretty fucked.
Oh no.
I think. No, I don't know. It's got
I can
some
imagine it's
nose,
hard to tell.
but it's dry. How old is this?
I
Still
could
got
look
a
at the
little sticky
batch,
to it,
but
When'd you pick it up?
I picked it up like a week ago. The only other notation I will put on it is their smalls.
this is small. So
This is their smalls.
Oh, I didn't know that.
If that changes something, I'm sure.
yeah, it looks kind of like Mac.
It is Mac.
It is
It's
Mac, bro.
one. Bro,
Good
2
shit,
out of
yo.
fucking
Good
5.
shit. Yo, that was
No,
lit.
yeah, 6. 2 out of 6. Let's go.
So like the tops are so distinct on the Mac, like it's an instant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's true, actually, whenever I get Mac one.
I mean, I hate Mac.
Really? No way. That's
Dude,
crazy.
To be honest,
Dude, that's
I
fucking
grew a lot of-
hilarious.
I grew a lot of Mac.
That's from
It
Sunburn, by
smokes
the way.
really good indoor, but like there's a lot of botrytis issues with Mac.
Oh,
Big
well,
time.
that was one of their big controversies as one plant. That's Sunburn's weed, is that they had a huge Mac 1 botrytis issue.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's like I wouldn't grow it in the greenhouse because the humid environment is a problem for Mac. So it's got an issue. And it veg is shitty. It's like just a weird plant. It's different. But I don't know. We were smoking it for a while. We're liking it until it just got old.
That's how, it was like the most popular strain of like 2020, 2021.
Yeah, because it looks like Oreos or something. you know?
It was
It
also
comes
like
frosted,
But
bro.
it gets you high.
it was like one of the, I don't want to say the first, but like the first well-grown like like exotic like strains kind of in the state.
Here in Florida, yeah, it was one of the
time.
more like, flashy, like, Miracle Alien cookies, wow.
Yeah, exactly. Like you heard
happened in
about
Cali
it, but
in
you
the
never
beginning.
seen it.
That's why
Well, that's where
it happened in Cali in the beginning.
Everything graduates this way, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, it was a flex. I mean, I was growing it in a greenhouse, and it looked like the best indoor on the planet in the beginning. You know what I mean? Until I realized it had that issue. It's just not worth it to grow those strains.
All right, guys, but out of those 6, we're going to try the Zacks Pie from Jungle Boys.
I might get like a little phone cam going in here too, honestly.
How's your IG going right now? Getting harassed?
To be honest with
Have you guys gone through the growing pains of social media right now?
to be 100% candid with you, this is one of those knock on wood situations, but Instagram itself has not fucked us over too heavily yet. I think that like you see a lot of like targeted hate when you take like one side or another on like brands too much.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a sensitive subject. You're dealing with people's lives.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's a little dangerous area right there too. Is like you have to expose the problems out here because you guys are the people and they expect you to put out the truth and the truth only.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's a trust there
Mm-hmm.
in the circle, and like it can be negative too. Like you can tell me that batch was not it.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't have released that, and it's people take shit personal. You know what I'm saying?
Like before this interview, like one of our last interviews, I remember a comment just being like something just like blah blah blah, like a certain way that you interview something. It's like that sticks in your head for like your next one, and you're thinking about it, and you go into it, and it might not be valid or something, but it's still in your head.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. But I think the biggest thing that like I've learned from like this so far to a degree, at least in this, like what we're talking about, is that the growers, like you got to watch what you say sometimes for sure. And because like the growers watch like this, like I've had it just happen in Florida specifically with like a couple products. And it's like, they are at the end of the day putting their all into it, their heart and soul. Like, and if the end product's not coming out great, like it's very personal thing.
And it most of the time it's not their fault. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's the equipment, it's the design in the beginning, whoever, like a lot of facilities, if I could afford the most phenomenal facility in the world, I'd obviously just do that, but I've had to work with whatever's out there and whatever I have. So there's a lot of cultivators that get hired on here, for instance, that have like a shitty hoop greenhouse. They can do their best, but their best isn't that great. You know, they're in a bad situation. They're just trying to do the best they can in that.
Yeah, it's like,
and most cultivators do. Like the passion comes quick when you're doing it. If not, you're out because it's hard.
it's super hard to win the Daytona 500 with a Corolla.
Yeah, that's a good analogy for sure.
I don't know why. I always used to use that analogy when I was working at restaurants, and they'd be like, well, why is the floor not that clean? And I was like, well, it's a shitty broom.
I used to say that to my teachers when they were bad at teaching, dude.
Hell yeah. Zacks Pie, though. Here we go.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I remember the story. I remember this guy was on IG. I think I was following him, actually. He was with the Jungle Boys. And that was Zach, I guess. He chose the pheno, and then they named it after him. That was pretty sick.
Yeah.
Like, that shit resonates. And those are homies, too.
Do you know Ivan and them pretty well?
Yeah. I mean, not that well, just through the industry.
Yeah.
But Ivan's a super solid guy. I know that. Ivan and Roach, those guys have been killing it.
Roach's story is so inspiring, man.
And I've talked to Ivan a couple times. Like, those guys are dope. And they were super passionate. You know, they are super passionate. And they take things a lot, serious like we all do. It's the same thing. It's like, you try it. It's not as easy as you think.
That's kind of like what
we're not like lining our pockets like they think too. It's not the situation. There's some people are, but normally they're like the people you'll never see because
never gonna meet them. They're on a yacht somewhere.
Yeah, they're just slaving people.
I think I think that would be one of the hidden benefits of having home grow is that like letting patients see how truly hard it is to make like a quality product with this plant.
For sure. And if I can add that value, that was kind of my plan, is So Flowery's pushing for home grows.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're putting money into it. They're putting resources into doing home grows. And if we can get home grows in Florida, I can help people with their home grows.
Mm-hmm.
Like that could just be something that I can gift to the industry. You know what I mean? Like I'll game anyone up on growing. Like that's my passion.
And that's what it is, bro.
I'm not hiding anything.
Anytime we meet someone who this like truly is their calling, they will say they'll sit down with anyone for however long and just explain it all to them.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. And you got questions on the line. I've been doing this for years. You know what I mean? Like people would always hit me up and ask me, you know, what nutrients or what soils or what conditions or whatever. I've been giving that out for, you know, my whole life. I don't care.
Personally, like for someone like, and I've admitted this like plenty of times, like we definitely from like the grower's perspective, that's the part of like this industry and culture that we know the least about. Yeah. And like I've never grown before. Like personally, I've never wanted to take that baby doink. Just due to legality, I've never wanted to take the risk personally. And just like, I can't wait till I finally have that first experience and I'm able to ask people that have been growing for so long, like how to do this, like what's the best way to do this, and finally create my own, like.
Yeah. So that's been like my favorite thing is, you know, if I can help you and somehow do something and you're confident enough to ask me questions and you believe in what I'm doing, that's sick. That's what I really like doing is, teaching people how to cultivate. Little bar.
Hell
yeah. You see, so if we did the 2 grams this way with this pack, they're going to be really small. So we'll probably do like a smaller tip. I wanted to do 1.5s and, or 1.75 and 3.5 joints so it doesn't really mess with the
dispensation.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's smart.
That was just a recommendation. Like I try to look for what people are asking for. See the burn. This is the true test right here.
We'll see about this. I don't know how confident. We'll see.
Those guys kill it. Those guys have been crushing it forever, and their SOPs are really strong. And plus, they got some dope growers out here. I know that.
Yeah,
they chose some good guys out
here.
Yeah, for sure.
A little flavor. First hit.
How do you feel about that?
It's good. It's kind of cakey, which I'm getting over those. You know, like all the mints and the cake.
What do you think the next trend is? The next big genetics?
Skittles crosses. We're about to drop I brought you guys some joints actually here.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is, we're calling it Lights Out. In Cali, this is Z times cereal milk. You can probably smell it through that joint. It's dope.
Holy moly.
It's dope. Yeah. So we haven't officially named it yet, but
dude, dry pull that. Holy fuck, the cereal milk sweetness comes through.
Yeah, it's definitely like.
Actually, I don't like. I think that my live reactions are some of my favorite, bro. Because I don't ever like to fake that shit, and that tasted fucking.
Yo, that is crazy. You're so right.
It's literally like Z terps, like Skittles terps with the cereal milk. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's got like that fruity pebble cereal.
I was gonna say I get that like fruitiness to it. Wow.
Yeah, no, that's dope. So what happened is
we're not used to flavors. Like
I had that one in my room, and I was doing a video on IG, and I said, "What should I name this strain?" And all my lights turned out because the timing. The lights all turned out, so I was like, "Oh, Lights Out." I guess that's the name.
That's perfect.
That was before I smoked it. Now I smoked it, and I get more of a creative, and it's not like a put you to sleep. So I don't know about calling it Lights Out because people, I'd have to explain that to everyone.
Lights on.
Is it fun?
Deal. Let's go.
Yo, is it fun naming strains? Like just
that was pretty fucking epic,
dude. If it's Lights On, that's gonna be the coolest flex ever. It's hilarious.
It's cool. Not my favorite strain, but
if I can ask about it, does your wife smoke? Has she been a long-term smoker?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
It's just been
She smokes a lot. Our whole crew smokes a lot. Except Tony, he's a welder, so he's been getting piss tested all the time.
it's that's funny. My girl is just new to smoking, and it's just been really funny that I myself,
Does she love it? My lady takes my wife takes gummies every night too.
That's how she started. She started with the dab pens, went to gummies. Now she's finally on flower. She did dabs like out of like an e-rig for a while, but like it's just been really funny for me. For like most of us went through smoking out of an Arizona can, fucking mids. Like even if my mids was different than yours, and it's just been really funny for me to see like she's gone straight to like Preferred Gardens, like Jungle Boys, like out of like the gate, and she does not know the struggle at all about
Dude,
it.
I say the same thing to my girl. Like she's like saw me dab once. She's like, I really like the dabbing, so I go and I get her like an MJ Arsenal, like the whole like set, and I show her like, all right, this is like I had like a dab rate. I was like, you got to make sure it's like this temperature. Like, dude, I was taking them red hot off like a nail in a forest. Like I had no idea what I was doing.
So that brings us back. Yeah, is Preferred live resin coming?
Yeah, we're doing live resin pens. They should be here in about 60 days.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, and we already have the live resin. We have Zope, and we have Lemon Tree. We did a bunch of fresh frozen.
What made you want to?
Flavors are ready.
Hell yeah.
What made you want to do resin over rosin?
So good question. 710 control has the whole rosin section.
Game on lock.
Yeah, game on lock, which is cool because they're phenomenal at it. And who wants to compete with 710? To be honest,
That makes sense.
their processes, like I'm fortunate enough to be partners with them over there, so I get to see how it's all done. They're next level. They're really hard to compete with.
Good on that.
So we're gonna do a collab of 710, by the way. Brad, let's get this going. Brad talking about it a lot, and we've been asking kind of the industry to hit them up as well. So anyone sees this video, make sure to DM 710 and tell them let's get this collab going.
All right, we'll clip that right there.
Hell yeah.
It's just gonna be at Brad at Preferred Gardens post.
For sure. But so we can't do rosin under Preferred.
Okay.
So our option is BHO. So we're going to do live resin pens, and we're going to drop some crumble and stuff. It's going to be a little more affordable for everyone.
I mean, I think that's fun. High quality product. Some people like resin. I know Chase likes resin.
Yeah, I like I was just in DC or whatever recently, and I got like a live resin pen, and I don't really know if it was actually like a live resin pen or like a distillate with like the terps added in it, because it was like a disposable and like I couldn't really see in it that well. But the flavor was like the main thing about it that I love so much. I mean, the effects too, but it's just like I noticed with BHO, I feel like
it fell off is the problem, and like most people that were doing BHO is it became too automated, so they made like a robot make all your BHO.
Really?
Yeah,
Like a drink machine in Vegas.
It was just way too automated, so it was all the same. And it was all like CRC'd, which is kind of like remediation for color. So from what I understand, like BHO was fire before all the rosin and everything really came out. BHO, like there's some dope BHO. I know some great extractors that make like super fire BHO. And we're making great BHO at the Flowery.
cool. Oh yeah,
I'm excited to try it.
It's going to be the same, just trying to make the best of what it is possible.
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen with the BHO at the Flowery.
Super exciting.
And the rosin
stuff.
and the flour and everything. I want to do a hash hole with them would be dope, because then we could do a rosin worm in the middle of a joint.
Dude,
that's
hell yeah.
Something.
What would that go under?
We turned that into the state and asked them to be able to pull off a hash hole.
And
nothing yet.
Okay.
How would you? I was gonna say, how would that dispense?
It's not allowed here in Florida.
It's it would be under two different things.
That would be confusing.
Yeah.
So weird, man.
Which like you
so
could
they probably won't let me do it.
You could just do it, but it would be just difficult.
You could like sell a kit.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You could sell a kit.
I mean, you could. How many people are gonna fuck up the roll?
I know it's not the same thing.
But with the training card, they could teach you how to roll a hash hole.
Here's a 30-second instructional on how to roll your own hash hole.
Yeah. I mean, it would be a cool experience, to be honest, but it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah. Maybe a class would be better.
Class would definitely be better. We'll get Mike out there. He'll teach you how to fucking get down on the hash holes.
There we go.
He hasn't been killing it.
Yeah, shout out Mike, man. Dude, this has been absolutely phenomenal. I'm all out of questions for you. I'm baked. I am fucking happy.
Lit.
Chase, do you have anything else?
Permanent marked.
Permanently marked.
Permanently marked.
Permanently high.
Lights on.
Lights on, and I'm permanently high.
Yeah.
There we
That's
go.
funny, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming here again, though, dude. This was I had so much fun. I have a lot of fun on
This
these,
was
but
one of
was
like
really fun.
one of our first few in-person podcasts, bro. Thank you so much for coming on, bro.
No, thank you guys. Shout out to you guys for doing what you're doing. It's awesome. Put the cultivators on. Put the whole industry on. Get some people here that just purchased cannabis and talk to them. That's sick.
Yeah.
You guys are chill.
Dude, thank you so
Thanks,
much.
bro.
Just smoked out. I appreciate the company.
Is there anything you want to say directly to the Florida patients or anyone watching?
Yeah, just shout out to us. Shout out to the whole community. It's the same around the world. It's not any different than Cali is Florida. We all just love the plant. So shout out to you guys.
Hell yeah.
Guys, like, comment, subscribe. Peace.
Stay couch lock people.
Dude, that was fucking, thank you so much, man.
Thank you guys.